The Epidemic of 3D Printed Junk by Carter.
Should not be allowed to make 3D printed crap and pass it off as handmade stuff and sell it.
Wait, what? Oh.
You should not be allowed to make 3D printed crap and pass it off as handmade stuff and sell it at a maker's market.
Wait, is this just AI? Is this just like AI again?
Put the 3D printed crap in
I hate coming to conventions nowadays, seeing how much like 3D printed crap people are selling.
This is 3D printed junk.
I noticed a problem. Not enough.
Okay,
people
well, if it okay, well, but who cares? Because if it's the value of the thing, it's the value proposition of the thing, and if people actually want to pay money for it, then that's up to them.
are talking about, and it has to do with
get mad. I guess I don't get it.
Like AI is invading spaces
God.
it shouldn't be, places that are meant for artists and creatives, people who are actually building things. What sent me down this rabbit hole was something kind of stupid. It was a 3D printed Pokemon that I saw at a vintage store, which is not only vintage, it's also craft stuff. But
well, that seems like a problem of the store. That seems like a problem of false advertisement of the store. If they're actually I don't know. I don't know what the store is saying. But is the store claiming that this thing is vintage and then putting it up there when it's not? Then that seems like a problem of the store and a false advertisement. I don't know. It has anything to do with the 3D printed thing.
It was something marketed as handmade or artistic, but it's not. It's slop. This is such an issue.
There it is, guys. Slop. Slop.
I want you to go to Etsy right now and type in the word dragon. And I swear to God, it is the same 50 fucking dragons over and over and over. You cannot escape this 3D printed garbage. What's also crazy is that when they're not printing dragons, people are printing memes. And I don't know which one is worse because a lot of
wait, what?
Cannot escape this 3D printed garbage. What's also crazy is that when they're not printing dragons, people are printing memes.
What's wrong with that? That looks awesome. Actually, I'd buy that. That's pretty cool. Oh, it looks pretty cool. What do you think, Charlie? It's pretty cool. It's a shark with legs. It's funny. Yeah.
And I don't know which one is worse because a lot of hobbyists
Why is it worse?
Listen,
Why is it
probably
worse?
printed things I won't use.
Why is it worse? Why is it worse? Why? This is always my why. Desert Ghost, by the way, thank you for the gift sub, and Red Dragon, thank you for the bits. I do sell 3D print. I do admit to some people that my community really sells junk 3D prints. You can find on Cult 3D for free. Well, the thing is like not everybody has a 3D printer, right? They're really expensive. Even nowadays, this was even worse before. But even nowadays, people don't really have money to buy a 3D printer. So like actually buying like an individual 3D printed object is like, I don't see anything wrong with that. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. What's the difference? What's the difference between that and like an injection molding thing? Again, the problem is the lie. If they're lying and saying like, well, I made this, by the way, completely by hand, then yeah, obviously that's bad, right? But if they're saying like, but if a person like, for instance, says like, hey, you know, I just printed this thing. Okay, fair enough. Or if a person says, hey, I actually designed it. I made the thing. You know, I designed it myself. And then I 3D printed it, and then like, that's what it is basically. And like to me, that's like a handmade thing because I actually did make it by hand. I went into like it's just another medium, right? Sheepy Boy, thank you so much for the bits. The only problem with 3D printed stuff is false advertising. Yeah, I agree, and I mean lying is bad. Lying is always bad, right? So it's like what's the deal with it, right? It's a completely different thing. It's Robin. Thank you for the Prime. Disown. Thank you so much for the sub. Hi Leaflit. Hope you're doing well. Happy birthday. Thank you so much. Thank you. Red Dragon says 3D printers aren't really expensive anymore. I can buy one for $300. Can you buy a good one though? Aren't the good ones like 600? And even then, $300 is still a lot of money. For most people, $300 is a lot of money, especially if you're like kind of like lower income. Like 300 is crazy, bro. Like just dropping 300 on like that and then like having to buy the filament, like that's crazy, bro. That's a lot of money.
I don't know which one is worse because a lot of hobbyists do it. Listen, I've probably printed things I won't use that ended up straight in the landfill, but I mainly want to address a big problem that TikTok has. And it's
okay, let's hear the problem here.
The Rock is not even a good actor. So why are we printing him on broccoli. There's the Rock Knight controller holder.
Dude, that's amazing.
There is Rockachu,
What's wrong
and of
with
course
it?
the Rocktopus.
What's
the crazy
wrong
part
with it?
about the Rocktopus is it's actually kind of a complicated print, like the dragon, which means you will more than likely fail it and you'll go and just buy it from their Etsy, because that's what a lot of this TikTok 3D printing stuff is.
Well, yeah, because you need a good 3D printer. Like 3D printing is not that simple. People will, this is another issue of people not really understanding how it works. And to be fair, I don't really understand it myself that much. All of my knowledge of 3D printing is kind of like my mom, basically. My mom has been learning it. That's all. I hear her talk about it. She has videos on her feed. Like when we eat dinner, like it auto plays on YouTube, on the TV. It just, you know, that's my extent of my knowledge. But with 3D printing, there's especially with like the complexity and like having to do with you have to have like the right clearances, you have to use the right filaments, and like all of this is like really important, like the right print speeds to the filament, and like that's how you get like, especially when things have moving parts, it's really, really important to actually have the settings like kind of tuned in for your specific printer. So it's kind of complicated. So like getting someone else to print it for you is you can guarantee basically that you'll have a good result that way.
Or a lot of 3D
even humidity is a problem. True. One of the first things my mom built for her 3D printer was those like desiccant ball containers, so that like it could lower the humidity, like lower, especially because, you know, I live in a very humid place.
Media is about that. There is, of course, the open source guys, which we're going to talk about as well, that are awesome. But a lot of the stuff we're seeing on TikTok is just an advertisement to get you to buy it from their shop, which is actually where kind of I discovered the scam in making this video. There's a lot of people selling files. That is a huge market, and they're selling it to people who are hoping to start a 3D printer business. I see tons of TikToks
What's wrong with
telling you to go and buy their files and start printing something, and it's just going to be a cash cow. And then we do have a few people giving the honest reality of a 3D printing business.
You know, 3D printing dragons and selling them are crazy.
It cost me $20 just in filament alone to print those 3 dragons.
If it's $20 of filament for 3 dragons, in Cookie Cat they usually run $30 a roll. $20 worth of a $30 roll is 66%. So $7 a dragon, like one dragon is a quarter of a roll, so 250 grams.
So at $30 a roll, it's costing you just that in materials without markup.
That's not crazy. What he said was 3 days, so 72 hours of that printer running. My cost of electricity here in Michigan, 22 cents a kilowatt hour. So that comes out to $1.60 just to run that printer for the 72 hours. So filament, electrical cost, shipping materials, $11. Just your labor, bust that up to 16. That is an awful margin.
Yeah, it's terrible.
From just the cost of 3D printing, what about all the plastic that is wasted and just ends up in a landfill? Because yes,
can't you recycle that? I thought people recycle that shit. Isn't that how it works?
A ton of people have 3D printers. I had a 3D printer, not realizing that it's not as easy as plugging and playing a lot of the times. A lot of things will make your prints fail. Actually, it's a giant percentage of prints that fail. And each time that happens, that is a large amount of plastic waste. So much so that 3D printing is contributing to our already terrible plastic problem on the planet. And
Dude, I don't know about you guys, but I have so much fatigue for the freaking the planet. But my planet, like, dude, it's always like people always use that, and I'm just so tired of it, bro. I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of it. Go build nuclear power plants if you want my planet or something like that. Yeah, it's just I'm so tired of it, bro. Like
people try to convince you that a lot of these plastics are recyclable. They're not. I actually could only find like one girl on TikTok who recycles her plastic.
Day 3, I am getting closer to having recycled filament.
And she takes it from other people and makes things.
I am taking failed prints that people...
Red Track, thank you so much for the bit. Sadly, I have all of those rock 3D prints. 3D printers aren't easy to use. Not all 3D printers have the same material. Some are too small. You need space. And a lot of humidity. Like, fuck, yeah. It's true. Like, humidity itself, like, really ruins filament. That's why people do a lot to keep it dry.
Send me and turning them into new recycled PLA that you can use on your 3D printer. So this is
cool. That's cool. I love that. That's great.
End up in a landfill.
See, this is an amazing solution to this, and like I'm all for this. Basically, like someone like making a business like this, and this is like kind of the innovation of just innovating to like solve problems. I think like this person truly has the right to bitch about landfills. I think. Because she's actually trying to help the problem rather than just being annoying about it.
Now, Instead of
This is
that,
Giga
it runs
Chad.
through my line and becomes new filament that I have on my TikTok shop.
Some people do melt down things and make molds, but that's rare. Actually, it's incredibly rare to recycle anything. Most of this will just end up in the landfill when you try to print the dragon and fail, and then go to Etsy and buy it there anyways.
Y'all 3D printing dragons and selling them are crazy.
Even if we ignore the cost and the waste, there is just a negative stigma with 3D printing in general. I mean, listen to this guy who owns a 3D printing business.
Yeah, there is a bias against 3D printed products, and even among people who are 3D printer people themselves. Let me give you a concrete example of this bias.
This story is just, it's just history, basically. It's like a cycle. It's like, oh boy, here's a new one. Here's a new one. Oh, photography, computers, Photoshop. This is just the newest one, basically. Just people just bitching.
Bias in action.
All
They
the
said,
time,
I
man.
love
Just
that this product
bitch,
worked as marketed. The only problem I have is that the product was clearly 3D printed and not injection mold. If I had known I could make this myself, I would have. No, you wouldn't have. You wouldn't have, because I didn't just go to Thingiverse and download this and push print. I designed it painstakingly.
Now listen,
yeah,
this guy isn't actually making anything crazy. He makes it sound like he's sculpting like insane Warhammer figurines.
Okay, well, what is he
He's
making?
not. If you go to his website, he's also kind of making junk.
Wait, so hold up. So you're just basically saying that his stuff is shit because you just think it's bad? That's it. You're basically negging a dude who's trying to be creative and trying to start a business. And you're just saying like his stuff is shit. It's not good. It's shit. I mean, like I don't really see like what's the difference between this and other shit I've seen on Etsy.
He's not. If you go to his website,
what's the difference? A wall stand mount for a home photo? I mean, it seems like a pretty cool thing that anybody could use. And it just has like a nice look to it. He like designed it. I mean, it looks kind of aesthetic, I think. I just don't understand. Like I don't get it. Like what's the, you've got like adapters here, like solving these problems that people would have with like
junk,
these
I guess.
different
Something
things.
that would
I
be
just
much
don't
better
understand.
off made through traditional methods like injection molding, a method that a large portion of the Chinese manufacturing industry has perfected. And before commenters,
wait, what? Hold on.
Tell me how expensive a mold is or whatever.
What? Wait, literally just, why not just go to China and get it injection molded? Well, okay. Listen. Creating a thing. Listen, creating a thing and then making a lot of them to keep in stock is a completely different logistical thing than like taking pre-orders, like setting it up so that you have enough funds, you have enough upfront liquid investment money in order to actually buy the injection mold and then buy the minimum print amount, basically. Martyr of Sound, thank you so much for the Prime. Thank you. You need to actually have a lot of capital up front in order to like actually keep stock. And not only that, after you do that, now you have to store it somewhere. So like, where do you live? Like, do you live in a place? Do you have enough storage space to actually like store like boxes of these things in the hope that eventually you'll profit off of them? Some people just want to just make it because they get a 3D printer, so that 3D printer is basically saves them on space and also allows them to make things on demand. So that's the reason why you would do that. I mean, like, why do people do print on demand rather than print on demand is like more expensive than like if you were to buy like, you know, thousands of shirts, right? The reason you don't do that, the reason you do print on demand is because it's way, it's less of a hassle to have to like actually have the upfront costs and then have the storage space to actually store all that stuff. Like, injecting mold, yeah.
It's really not that bad, especially when you consider how much people are spending on print farms and the likes.
Here's how much it cost me to set up a 3D print farm in my house. All right, so I currently...
Well, see, but the thing is those 3D printers can make anything. And obviously the cost is going to be higher, right? But they can be transformed into making literally anything. Which is different from creating like a single mold that makes a lot of one thing. And having to pay for the sampling, You're gonna have the upfront cost to like buy the sample, buy the mold, and then do the production run, and then ship it all the way from China, right? And that's and guys, I know about this because I sell stuff online. Shop.angelstore.com, by the way. New Fumo's coming soon, but we do this as well. So that's how come I know about this.
I have 64 different 3D printers. I have another
This is
4
about
on the way.
flexibility.
They're
Yeah,
almost
exactly.
all the exact same model. Okay, so printers 65 to 68 are on the way right now, but altogether, I've spent over $121,000 on just the printers alone. Now, on top of that, I also had to buy the lighting, the wood shelves, the racking, all of the filament holders, basically everything else that you see there. I either bought or I printed. Probably worth another couple $1,000s.
Okay, I'm gonna go back for a second to the 3D printed dragons, because that's the real issue within all of this. It's not actually selling the dragon either. It's scamming you into buying a file and promising you're gonna make money. Future Carter.
Okay, well, I mean, that is a problem.
Finishing this video and
it's not really like a problem. Really, it's not really in my opinion, it's not really the person selling the file's problem. It's, I mean, because could you possibly make money off of it? Sure. You could if you like had the right business strategy and stuff like that, right? And it's just a lot of people are retarded. Well, they'll see this and they'll be like, oh, this is an easy way to make a ton of money. So like, well, somebody just buy this. It's like,
adding this dragon graphic, my editor found something kind of crazy. If you go to the,
it's basically like, how is it their fault that you're retarded? You know, like I don't know. It's not a promise.
Most
yeah,
states have them. What is this?
Businesses are always about risk. That's what business is, a risk assessment. And if you make a bad risk assessment, then you get fucked. That's how it's always been forever.
This is literally on a website that is like made for things made in Nebraska. I don't think 3D printed dragons are like unique to Nebraska. During all of this, I actually went down the rabbit hole so far. I found the original lady who designed.
Yeah, but what if it was a Nebraskan dragon?
The dragon. Her name is Cinderwings. She is
a jackalope dragon. There's more jackalopes than people in Nebraska.
A well-known 3D model artist who sells things like the dragon and other toys that are, I guess, cool.
Hi guys, I made a new design and I'm really excited to show you. Normally I make things that are really detailed, and this one is really simple and a quick print and really cute. So this is the sketch. I decided to make a tiny wyvern and I planned out all the links and what the tail might look like. This is the model in Blender and this is the first rendition I did. Then I made a test print. So this is the first test print and it's so cute, but I didn't really like how its wings didn't move, so
I think it's
made
cute.
Another rendition. Looks exactly the same except I added loops on the wings to give them movement. And here is the new model.
She sells commercial licenses, and according to Google, she makes a lot of money doing so. I refuse to believe, though, that a lot of these people on TikTok or Etsy are actually buying her licenses. There is so many of them that you can't convince me they are. Also,
yeah, piracy is a thing. Yeah, I know. We know.
So that's what a lot of people are doing. They're stealing designs from people like Cinderwings and then selling them to other people.
So I start every morning.
Yeah, if you're selling a thing that is basically a static digital product and it can be copied, then people will copy it. People who are bad actors. There's always bad people that will do that. Yeah, sure. True.
Looking at the newest files on Cult 3D, and I just sit and scroll through all the new ones, and then this pops up. And I know this design, this is MacGyver's octopus, and someone is selling his octopus, or not selling it, but giving it away for free, and 36 people have already downloaded it for free. Yeah. That's not okay. It's his design to sell. He owns it. Nobody else should be able to sell it unless he states.
I don't know if Cinderwings knew her design would get so popular, or if she's aware of people re-uploading it and selling it without a license. Cinderwings is one of many people who sell the STL files. The difference with her is I've never explicitly told her that that's going to make you money, because like a lot of things within 3D printing, there's a ton of get-rich-quick scammers, which brings me to...
I mean, there's that in every single industry has that. I should totally do that, guys. That's going to be my new grift. That's going to be my new grift chat. I'm going to tell you how you can get rich. You in chat. You can get rich making Fumos, and I will teach you how to do it. I have a workflow for how you can make your Fumo dreams a reality. Yep, we're going to do it.
Might not be one of those, but gives the vibes of it.
Made $347,000 selling.
Road Dragon, thank you for the bits. I have most of her 3D printed dragons. They cost like $3 each. The commercial license is a separate charge. We have the option to get via Patreon, and most of them are dirt cheap, like $1 to $5 a month. Yeah, yeah. I definitely think that's a cool thing that she's doing. Like I think that's really cool. And it's like it's a cool exchange. It's like you buy the design from her. But I mean, obviously there's gonna be people that are they're gonna pirate it, right? There's gonna be assholes that do that. There's always gonna be people that do that. There's nothing you could do about it except for like maybe like you do it as a subscription where you'll release the you have to have like some kind of ongoing thing or provide some kind of value that or make it so easy that people don't pirate it. Like those are like the ways around it. This guy just thanks, Scuttle. Thank you.
These 3D printed spheres on Etsy. What are these spheres and how can you sell them? So it's actually a 3D printed moon lamp and I've made one for every single planet. These are definitely the most complex and cool things I've ever designed. And I just made all the files available to every single person who signs up to my Patreon.
So this is ForgeCore. He's pretty well known on TikTok for selling 3D designs, on his Patreon and other things. And of course, he's going to have a ton of referrals. He's going to show you how well they sell or how much money he made, like he did in that TikTok, and then convince you that you can do the same thing. I dove into Etsy scrolling these.
Well, the problem is like the more people that sell it, you're gonna have more competition, and then it's gonna drive the price down for it, and your margins are gonna be less. That's just how everything is.
Planet listings. And something I noticed that's kind of weird is, first of all, none of them are his store. I looked, I couldn't find like a ForgeCore store, but it is a lot of people using the exact same watermarks and pictures, selling the same planet. So I'm gonna guess that's him, because 3D prints aren't necessarily hard and so many people have them that why wouldn't you just take your own pictures? I wouldn't doubt that he makes $347,000 or whatever, but my guess is it's from—
Well, I mean, I guess we don't know if he allows them to use the pictures. I mean, the
Patreon that he plugs and a ton of his TikToks right at the end after he's convinced you that 3D printing is a viable business.
And I just made all the files available to every single person who signs up to my Patreon. If you want the STL files for this, I have it on my Patreon. So please.
I mean, hold on. I mean, I'm sure you could make it a viable business. Like I don't get why it wouldn't be. I guess you just have to. It's just like this is another just method. It's another method, but it's not like, how do I explain it? It's a means of business, basically, right? It's a means of business, and you have to figure out how to make it work for you, right? It's not like the total answer. It's not the panacea to your problems of wanting to be a business owner.
Comment what you think I should make them be.
Every single industry has gurus telling you that you can get rich quick. It's not unique. And when it comes to a lot of these things that ForgeCore is telling you are going to make you a lot of money, the reality is these markets are already taken over using way more efficient methods. Because look, I found the Alibaba listing of almost nearly an identical thing. Not to say that they didn't take it from him, but I don't think he necessarily came up with the idea of a planet light. Due to people like ForgeCore.
All you gotta do, chat, is that you get the design, right? You buy the design, you print it, and you put made in America. 100% made in America.
For all these people trying to clamor and start a 3D printing business are now invading spaces.
Put a fucking American flag on there and an eagle. You know what I mean? Yeah, made in the USA.
Meant for 3D printers. They're using it as a shortcut to get into crafts fairs, farmers markets, and conventions. Grabbing a file, hitting
To be honest, I don't really care because I want to see more stuff at farmers markets. I go to farmers markets myself, and I want to see more stalls. I want more stuff to buy, you know?
And then printing it off doesn't make you Michelangelo. In the same way
Nobody
that
said
using
it did.
AI doesn't either.
Wait, what?
The same way that using AI doesn't either.
Shadow the Hedgehog fills the Chicago bean with Hot Ones hot sauce to celebrate the 4th of July and the Costco guys. Yeah, but see, like, this wouldn't exist without the person who made that. Like, it's quite a vision. It's quite a vision. I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. Okay. Yeah. Maybe it means something. I don't know.
A 3D printer is a tool, not a shortcut. Like AI, it is something that I have seen amazing things come out of. I have seen the most amazing Warhammer figurines that are printed, but then painted and sanded and look beautiful. We also have to mention the origins of 3D printing. Prototyping, building things that are going to be used in a bigger application is a huge part of 3D printing and an amazing use of it. A 3D printer also saves cosplayers and designers a bunch of time in trying something. But those people are craftsmen and artists. They're just using using this to save themselves time and make better art. Something I want to mention is that...
Yeah, you hear that? You better not be fucking 3D printing shit unless you're an artist. You hear that, chat? You better have a high rank art skills. You even dare to buy a 3D printer. What the fuck's wrong with you?
3D printing is not new at all. It's something that you're seeing everywhere, especially in your wife's boyfriend basement, and of course with the rock memes. But it's been around since like 1985, when a guy named Dr. Hideo Kodama and then
yeah, we should have licenses. We should have what we should do is we should set up like licenses where like you have to prove that you're like an amazing artist or a cosplayer. You have some kind of art skill before you're even allowed to buy a 3D printer. True, real and true.
After a man named Chuck Hall would go on to create...
You have to graduate. You have to graduate from art school, and then you can get a 3D printer. It's like a requirement to buy one. Yeah.
Resin printing. The STL file format actually is still used today.
AI too. Yeah. True. In fact, you can't even use AI if you're a programmer. Only artists. Only art school people can use AI.
When we're printing, the most common printer.
But then they can use writing. They can use writing AI, and they can use programming AI. You can't. Only artists. Does writing count as an art skill, Leaf? You want a 3D printer? No, sorry. Writing is just writing. That's not the same as real art. Jackler. Thank you for the bits, though. Thank you.
Going to see is actually called an FDM printer. It's the extrusion kind and not the kind that they were using back then. This style of printing, FDM, is only possible because of an open source project called RepRap, which was not too long ago, which essentially sought to make 3D printing accessible to anyone. This project was originally aimed at like colleges or libraries or community centers, whatever it may be, to get people interested in science and making things. Like almost all open source projects though, obviously there's going to be bad actors.
Iron Tiger says, I have some art degree. Would you like some fries with that? Yes, Iron Tiger, I would. Honestly, I would love some fries right now, but everything's closed.
Going to be people coming in looking to milk every single dollar they can out of it. And unfortunately, that's what's happening to 3D printing. This is not necessarily unique to 3D printing, as I've documented on this channel before.
Some tots. Who has tots right now? Who sells tots? Sonic has tots, right? I think Sonic's closed, though.
But it is a problem that is growing, and it's kind of going everywhere at the same rate AI is. It's just not talked about as much. I hope that I'm not misunderstood as somebody, you know, essentially moaning about when electronic music was invented or something like that, because I'm trying to say that it's different using a tool versus a shortcut. A lot of people are just using 3D printers as a shortcut without...
What's bad about shortcuts? See, I guess I just disagree with this entire premise. I disagree with the entire premise that shortcuts are bad. I actually don't think process really matters that much. Personally, I don't know. I don't really care about it. I don't think it really adds up any value to the end consumer.
Spending the time learning actually how to make things. I'm curious what you guys think. Is this just...
And like if people want to do that and say like this is an artisanal thing, like 100% made by hand, and like people love that shit, to be honest. I keep bringing back the same example of the pans and the knives, right? My cooking pans are handmade, like a person fucking took the metal and they used a hammer and they fucking hammered the pan. Like my cooking pans are like I've got these carbon steel cooking pans that are hammered. The handle is completely hammered, like hand hammered. All of it's hammered. My cooking knives are also like 100% like hand forged cooking knives. I don't think that they're better. Like I have stamped cooking knives and I think they're just as good, personally. Like when it comes to like actual utility of it, it's actually the same. But as a, you know, I still value the artisanal, like kind of sentimental value behind like a handmade thing. And I think that's fine. I do think there's a distinction to be made there to say like, hey, this thing, I took a block of wood. This dragon, I took a block of wood and I carved it by hand. I carved it by hand, 100% hammer and chiseled it, filed it completely by hand. And I think that there's an appreciation in that, like there's an appreciation in that, and it does have like its own value, its own separate value, I think, right? And again, which is completely separate from like utility. Some people don't really care about the process; they only care about the thing, and some people really do care about the process, right? And I think that they're both equally important in different ways. It just depends what kind of values like a person like would hold, right, for a specific, for like whatever that specific thing is, right? Because let me give you a good example, right? How many of these people have plastic coat hangers? I'm sure a lot of them have these regular ass like coat hangers. They bought 100 of them from the store. They're not handmade. They're not handmade, and nobody cares. There's nobody shaming people for saying like, oh, I can't believe you bought those like mass-produced coat hangers. Mines are only made by hand in Sweden. Right? Like, who does that? Like, nobody does that. You know what I mean? And that's kind of my point, is a lot of it is just really smug, to be honest. A lot of it's really smug. Like, I love my I love my handmade pans. I love my handmade knives. I don't walk around to people's like kitchens and be like, this knife is not even handmade. What a peasant. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? It's so smug. It's so smug and annoying. That's my point. That's my whole point. Like, if you value the thing handmade, then value the thing handmade. Why are you going to go to someone else's house and be like, I can't, oh, that door totally made in a factory. Like, ew. Like, bro, you know, my clothes are only 100% handmade. I have my personal seamstress working in my sweatshop downstairs. I can't believe you don't have one. Unreal.
Unique to me. Am I being too cynical or too harsh on these people? And tell me what you think in the comments or in my Twitch stream. All right, bye-bye.
Like, am I wrong? Am I wrong? It's so annoying and smug. I don't know how else to explain it. It's just so annoying and smug, dude. I can't believe it, man. Like, it's man. People on their manufacturer homemade. No, I actually think that there's a lot. I think some of them look really cool. Like those kind of like manufactured modular like cube homes. They're kind of cool. Like I don't know. I think for their own purpose. Like for instance, like if I wanted to get like a house in like buttfuck Egypt, and like I didn't really need the house to look really nice. It's just like something like I want to like maybe go to every now and then. Yeah, sure. Just to drop a thing there. Who cares, right? Like who gives a fuck, right? But then there is like some kind of value in like a house that's actually like designed and architected by like a person. And like I want to live there because like it's kind of nice. I really like it, right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, right? It just depends. Luxurious leaflet art when? It's just, dude, all of this is so snobby. Like, am I the only one that thinks that? It's so snobby. Like, it's so smug and so snobby every fucking time, man. Like, rage baiting rich edition says, totally, man, totally.